This is Sherman DeJohn with Insider Travel Report. We're here in the beautiful island of Eleuthera, Bahamas, at the new Disney Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. We're here with Kevin Thomas, creative director for Walt Disney Imagineering. He's been here over 22 years,
Yes.
quite some time, here to mark the opening of Lookout Key. He's going to tell us a little bit about the island, what makes it so special, some of the build challenges that came with it. So we're going to jump right in.
Sure, it's good.
Kevin, first and foremost, big moment for Walt Disney Cruise Lines. You've opened up your new destination. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels fantastic. It's been a long time in the coming, but I think myself and the entire team are really excited to finally be here, where we can introduce this fantastic space to our guests.
And what can guests expect when they get off the cruise line, and what should they be most excited about?
I think, in my opinion, I think the guests should be most excited about the opportunity to experience the Bahamas in a new and unique way. What we sought out to deliver is a new perspective, really focusing on the Bahamas, the culture, the magnificent views, the nature here, and really help our guests experience it in a way that hasn't been done before.
Now, you've been with Walt Disney Imagineering a while.
Correct.
What were some of the things that made this particular build unique?
It's in a very unique location. So I think first and foremost, just this magnificent palette that we had to work with. It's just a magnificently beautiful location. But what we've been able to do, I think, is to infuse the culture and storytelling the way Disney does, in a way that's also respectful to the natural environment, and hopefully introducing some new perspectives to our guests that they may not have had previously.
And I've noticed a lot of the buildings, they had this great colorful burst to them.
Yes.
So many flourishes. You worked a lot with local artists to get those done and to get those commissioned. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, that was such a fantastic opportunity to work with the local Bahamian talent, not only the artistry, but the musicians and cultural experts to help us truly understand and tell an authentic story. But yes, with the artistry, we worked with a number of different local Bahamian artists, people that have a number of different artistic skill sets, people that do sculpting, people that do ceramics, people that do painting and lots of different things. And each have been able to tell a story in their own unique way. It was important for us to not come in and say, hey, can you please create this? But rather, what is an expression that you would like for our guests, for the many, many guests that are going to come through this space to have? And how could you put that out there? And then we work together to find ways to integrate that into our overall environment.
And I've noticed a lot of the building roofs.
Mm-hmm.
They have this very interesting shell-like design. I'm assuming that was intentional. Can you just tell me a little bit about that?
Very perceptive. Yeah, that was absolutely intentional. So again, we really wanted to kind of break the mold. We didn't want to, come back with traditional style of architecture. Rather, we wanted it to be more inspired by the organic nature that can be found around here. So many of the buildings, very few places where you find straight lines. It's very organic, with a lot of curvilinear spaces, inspired by, as I said before, nature. If you look at the majority of the buildings, the upper portion of the roofs draws its inspiration from the seashells that can be found along the Bahamian shores. And then once you come closer to each individual building, you'll really be able to experience the underside. And that's where you start to feel and see where the Bahamian artistry is integrated within that. And so throughout each and every complex, it's kind of done in a different way. But it's just that cultural and artistic infusion that we've offered.
You were telling me this is a very unique place in the Bahamas, unique place in the world. What were some of the things that made it interesting to build here compared to some of the other projects that you've worked on in your past past projects?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a fantastic opportunity for all of us, for the entire team. I think just in location as well, it was a little different from what I've experienced working right out of Walt Disney World, where you had teams and resources right there. So there was a lot of logistical planning to make sure we could orchestrate and have things when and where needed. But with a great team like we had, we were able to make that happen. And so I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
I imagine it took a lot of coordination with local officials to really bring this all to fruition. Can you tell me a little bit about what that partnership looked like and how you're going to continue to foster it and nurture it over the next few years?
Yes, absolutely. We had team members that worked very closely with the Bahamian government and local officials to make sure that we could achieve the goal that we set before ourselves, to make sure that we are doing this in a way that is respectful to the Bahamian culture and the Bahamian people. And so, once we kind of understood a little bit better and they understood what our desires were, I think it was a great collaborative effort, to move forward with that. And, to me, I think these relationships that have been formed throughout this process are second to none. And as you mentioned, it's not going to be something that stops here. I see us continuing to nourish these relationships to make sure that we can continue to offer these types of experiences to our guests.
And I'm curious, in terms of all the spaces, in terms of the planning, walk me through how you kind of organized everything. You've got some nice outposts when you first enter. You've got a nice beach. You got some cabanas when you first enter. And then you take this tram and you kind of wind up on the eastern side of the island where there's a lot. And you can't really tell from the map, but it's pretty massive, and it's quite amount of space you had to cover.
Right.
Walk me through kind of the planning process and how you decide to choose those particular locations for those particular amenities.
Right. So a lot of it had to do with operational needs. And so, we want to make sure that form follows function. And so as there are operational needs that are set before us, then we can absolutely design to accommodate that. And we had a great palette to work with. And a lot of this is based on, what we are told is going to need to happen in terms to satisfy, the provisioning and the guest experience. And then we take that, run with it, and just infuse a lot of our creative color and architectural style and music and things to really enhance that experience. And so you're absolutely right in that we have an area that's kind of our family cabana area. And we wanted to take advantage of that opportunity to make it just a beautiful, colorful shoreline that we have. And then when you make it to the east shoreline, there's at the north, we have the Serenity Bay, which is the adult exclusive area. And as you move your way further south, we've got a number of different offerings that we're giving our guests. And then as you continue even further south, you'll start to just see some of the natural terrain where the land formations, I don't know if you've had a chance to experience that yet, but we've got some beautiful, beautiful rock formations. And we've been able to infuse some of that even into the built environment that we have here. So it's almost integrated into this natural environment that we have.
And there's a fair amount of excursions that are planned to bring people into the community and really let them experience the island in a way that only a local can.
Yes.
What comes with creating something like that for guests?
There's obviously a lot of planning in that one, but I think there's great opportunities, with that, in that we're able to, work with local Bahamians to help offer our guests these experiences, things that, of course, we want them to come and enjoy Disney Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. But even beyond that, there are things on this beautiful island of Eleuthera, the opportunities for them to embrace and see some of the other island. And I think that we work closely with the locals to make that possible for our guests.
I have to ask you, you've spent a lot of time on this island, spent a lot of time planning, seeing this come to fruition. Do you have a favorite spot? What's a place that, if somebody comes, they absolutely must see, they absolutely must experience? And what makes that place so special?
That's a tough question to answer, to be honest with you, because there are so many fantastic views and places to just kind of sit back and relax. But I would have to say, if I had to narrow it down to one, I'm very much impassioned by the area that we've created. It's called the Rush Out, Gush Out Water Play. And it's our family water play area here on the island, where it's inspired by Junkanoo. And I think because of the stories that are being told here and just the excitement, fun for children and families of all ages. And I love how we've been able to incorporate so many story elements into that to bring joy to our guests.
Yeah, earlier there was this wonderful Junkanoo Carnival, came through. You see Mickey, you see Minnie. They're wearing traditional garb. The music's playing. It's so lively.
Yes.
So in terms of being able to accommodate those kind of cultural moments, how do you think about that in terms of how that flows through the spaces?
Yeah, I mean, that was, thank you for bringing that up. That was very important for us. We actually did a lot of research. Junkanoo is a very important part of the Bahamian culture. We wanted to make sure that we were able to offer that to our guests. Actually had a chance to go to Nassau and experience Junkanoo on a couple of occasions. To read about it, to see video on it is one thing, to experience it is a complete another. And so we felt like it was important for us to be able to give our guests that same opportunity. And I'm so happy that we are able to. So what you're referring to is the experience where we're able to bring a small Junkanoo group through. It's at our cultural center. our Goombay Cultural Center, which is the heartbeat of this entire development. It's centrally located by design. We wanted to make sure each and every one of our guests had an opportunity to experience that. But as our Junkanoo group makes their way through and our characters make a visit, I think it's a very exciting moment for all of our guests to experience.
Now, the initial disembarking process, it's interesting. You have a very long, kind of winding walk to experience the island. Walk me through why that is the case. What were some of the environmental considerations that you had to work through to be able to even bring the Disney magic here for this day?
Yes, absolutely. We're very proud of the fact that we're able to offer a unique experience, here at the southern area of Eleuthera. It's such a beautiful island. And as it's been stated before, we wanted to make sure that our impact was wisely done. And so, working with our partners to make sure that the right decisions were made and from a conservation standpoint and everything, we understood the right way to go about that. And that's the result of this. And I think that it still offers a magnificent opportunity for all of our guests.
Because the area itself has incredible amount of natural wildlife, natural coral creatures. So I imagine that was done in consideration of preserving those active environments and not disrupting those in any way.
That was absolutely a part of the consideration for that, without a doubt, yes.
Great. Anything else that guests should be super excited about in terms of coming here?
I just think that, hopefully when our guests have a chance to experience this, they can come and understand that this is our new and unique opportunity that we're giving for our guests. Disney Castaway Cay is fantastic. Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point is going to be yet another fantastic experience for our guests. And I'm really excited for everyone to experience it.